Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on Cory's Dodge. He's been having some four-wheel drive issues with it that he's been wanting to get fixed for quite a while. So we'll go ahead and have Cory tell you a little bit more about what's going on with it, but definitely keep in mind he is sick, so he doesn't sound the world's greatest right now.
Yeah, definitely not. So just a little quick backstory. Four-wheel drive quit working. It's a vacuum actuated system that moves a collar. I'm assuming that's the problem because I can go into four-wheel drive. It's not engaging in the front, but I do have a good fix for that and a good upgrade for people that are looking for a little more reliability, keeping their four-wheel drive engaging. So I do have some parts to show you guys.
Alright, so let's get opening these parts and see what they look like, Cory.
Alrighty.
This is the deal here, huh?
Yes, upgrade.
4x4 posi lock.
So basically what this does is that there's a collar in your axle shaft. There's a fork that slides a collar in your axle shaft that hooks your intermittent shaft up with your passenger side axle shaft, which basically engages your four-wheel drive. Well, it's vacuum actuated, so if you're out anywhere in the mountains or on a normal drive and you have a vacuum issue, as mine being a diesel that doesn't create vacuum, that's why they have a vacuum pump. If you have any of those kind of problems, if your vacuum pump goes out, line breaks, you pretty much cannot use your four-wheel drive.
Yeah, and they're pretty prone to leaking too.
Yeah.
I've had systems that have had this kind of actuator, and they've taken a shit before, and I've had to modify them.
So basically what this kit does is that it removes the liability issue with your vacuum lines or your pump going bad, and you're basically putting a manual cable in that will move the fork from inside of your vehicle.
Comes with this nice little housing that replaces the vacuum actuator.
Yep.
And then the shaft for the fork goes right here and slides back and forth.
Also comes with a four-wheel drive light too, so you don't have to worry about it not working after you replace it, because if your four-wheel drive light doesn't come on in like my vehicle, it's a pretty easy case to figure it out that your fork isn't moving, and pressing on this ball indicator light saying that it is in four-wheel drive. So this is essentially going to eliminate all those problems.
Yeah, it's a pretty good system. They make a lot of these for Jeeps as well. If you still have the vacuum actuator in your Jeep, they also make kits for that. They're pretty good though.
Should be pretty easy to install. I think the hardest part is actually mounting this inside and drilling a hole in a specific spot in the firewall so you don't hit the structural webbing of the firewall, and we'll make sure to cover where we drill and set everything.
Yeah, and then as well making sure you don't kink the line, keeping it decently straight with how you route it. But have to find a good spot for that and start mounting it.
So far it seems like it's a pretty good kit. It's got a lock.
Well, you ready to start pulling her apart?
Yeah,
see what it looks like?
I think so. I think we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Alright, so while Cory's working on getting the front end all apart to put that actuator in, I'm going to be working on getting all my tools out of my box. I want to take all these sockets and my wrenches over to Cory, so I have my own tools over there. And then we'll start putting the new Icon tools in the box and laying it out how we'd like to have it. So I'm going to work on that while he's doing his thing.
So quick little side note, the directions are actually done quite well. And we got an actual stencil here. This stencil you can cut out and use to fold and hook on your where your gas pedal is, so it'll give you almost the exact place where you want to drill your hole to make sure you miss all the structural webbing on the firewall, so you can just get a good clean hole, and where to cut around the insulation. Pretty good tip just to make sure you can cut that out and use that if you need to. Alright, so we got the hole drilled through the firewall. Probably the hardest part of the whole install. It's really tight. You got to get up there and cut some of your insulation off your firewall, your floor mat. Other than that, it's not too bad. I'll try and see if you can see what I'm working with here. So this is the cable. That's where I had to cut this out here to get the cable through the hole that I drilled in the firewall, and that will run down to the axle to the actuator for the fork, and then should be good to go. So we're going to finish installing this. we'll get the cable and the bracket and everything hung up in the cab, and then we will get that mounted and we'll start working on the axle. Okay, so the cable is installed in the pickup. It was definitely probably the hardest part of the install. It's quite tight in there. See if I can show you. That's the cable that's mounted to the dash, and the cable runs back through the firewall there, down alongside the starter. And then I'll show you what I just took apart. Under here, right here is where your actuator is and your fork. Basically, there's a diaphragm here where the vacuum will actuate this fork, which will then move this collar here and essentially engage your four-wheel drive. That's what usually shits out, and then you can't, you could either be stuck in four-wheel drive or you won't be able to engage your four-wheel drive. So that's what this cable eliminates, is the reliability that your vacuum pump or vacuum will fail you and you'll be stuck either in four-wheel drive or won't be able to engage your four-wheel drive. So we do have to take this apart and put the new housing on and the fork onto the cable and then reinstall, and we'll catch up with you when we get to that point.
Alright, so I kind of got a mess going on here, but I'm making some progress on getting the tools all switched out. I got a bunch of tools in this bag, ready to go over to Cory's. All the Icon tools are in the box except some of these extensions. Those will be going to Cory's as well. Ratchets there. And then in the next couple of drawers I have all the end wrenches and the ratcheting wrenches. Over here on the side I have the bigger end wrenches. But I'll probably end up moving this stuff around later as I get more tools in here. If I end up picking up more of the Icons, I'm not sure. But we're making some progress. A little messy, but we'll get it all put away and taken over to Cory's.
Alright guys, I finished the install. It looks like it's working out pretty slick. It's all tucked away down there, hard mounted to the dash. It actually works pretty well. There's two different ways you can actually use it. You can either just twist this out and it'll engage it, or you can use the button. It also serves as a lock as well. You can pull this out and it's engaged, push it back in to disengage it, and then you can twist it to make sure it stays locked. So it didn't turn out too bad. It was pretty easy to install. It made sure it's adjusted right. I do have to wire the switch up tomorrow. It's getting late and I really don't feel too well still, so I'll finish that up tomorrow, and then the four-wheel drive light should work, and I shouldn't have any more four-wheel drive problems. No more vacuum pump. I capped all the vacuum lines. Make sure that they're not gonna affect anything else with the vacuum system. What'd you do, Justin?
I put tools away.
Are you done with them?
No. I got a lot more to do still. The Icon tools are in there. I gotta get all this junk taken over to your place and put in my box over there. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this video. Cory is beat, ready to go to bed, aren't you, Cory?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're struggle busting it tonight.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel very good, wants to go get some sleep, so I got some tools organized and ready to go to his place, and he got the Dodge done. Probably try that out tomorrow and see how it works, but I don't think we'll film any of that since the main part's all done, so we'll see what we're working on tomorrow, but for now, that's going to be it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.